repositioning, taking a little bit more ground back under control in the long building, but they left a backstop in the cupboard there, and 2 players go down immediately as well. It's getting turned around. Pmgc ready to ramp up towards the finals later on over the on the mini-map as well, but it looks like we're already in for a fast start here. R8 dropping down with Alpha 7 over on the northwest side. Blank, it looks like Alpha 7, though, they've already taken a knock and a flush. But remember, the recall beacons exist, so it's not all done and dusted for the player from Alpha 7. As a second falls as well, I think it's time to turn tail and get on out of there.
I think they actually do already have an output over on Rondo as well. What you typically see, decent nade to start off with 2, and 97 looks to move up. Ida, sorry. Memori.
Dangerous, though. He has a shotgun. Oh, he's only got 2 more rounds, though. 1. No, we can't find it. The AKM in the back pocket, though, and the swap out is good for the turn and the spray, but the vents don't keep him safe. A couple more breathing holes than he would like there. Points from a single team. I mean, they're called Alpha 7, right? Maybe that's because they're worth 7 points.
Yeah, but we'll take 7.
Manages to land on target. The circle shifts out to the side, so this has the hurry up on the fight, and I think that Mad Bulls is just going to be able to close this one down here and now. CEO, though, has something to say. A nade out through the door, stops first breach, gives him a little bit more time to play with. Teams are going to be leaving from around them, so not too much danger of third party as nades start to bounce on in, and
You pretty much have to stick to your guns here. If you're Alpha 7, you are having a great time off the back of this. Mad Bulls moving into GK. Very, very bad stuff here happening for them. But luckily, Flip's on the outside. Wonderful off-angle player, but then he's got 2 enemies to deal with here in front of him. Safg and Ragnarok. See what Flip can get done here. He's very good when it comes to the clutches, usually, for Mad Bulls.
Oh, Ragnarok rolls on in and finds the
play from Ragnarok as well to immediately switch back over towards the rest of the team. It put the pressure on Flip in a big way, where he had to speed up his gameplay, accelerate a little bit, because it meant his teammates dying. Up slightly sooner. There's a slight indecision here, and now Regnum Kai should be able to clean up the pieces. Nice.
There's still plenty of firepower for them to play with, and 5 points. It's not a bad game by any stretch. Now we head over.
So him going out early there is pretty tough. Soaz now has a very, very big task ahead of him, but I would say that, you know, probably second best on the team here for the squad. Is able to take out 1, making this into a 3v3 versus R8. Now, R8 could continue the warpath here, since taking down the Brazilian squad in Alpha 7. Look to push out now. There is enemies all around, though.
Ooh, giving them the quick start steps, but it's not going to phase them at all. R8 have been through the ringer already, and they know the tricks of the trade. They'll move up to the north side now, because Arena are struggling against 1. They're getting mashed up across the road. What on earth just happened over there? R8, the major profit makers, though, on this engagement on the south side, with IQ over the horizon. They continue to push up north.
Yeah, I mean, disgusting Molotov going through from QXZ. He's able to find a lot of damage
right now, and I mean, at the start of the game, playing like lemmings, you think that Alpha 7 do need to have a little bit of an uptick on performance there. As a rotate comes through for the Wolves, they're trying to crash on in. They do not have any other option. Thundertalk are going to be on the defense here. Plenty of teams trying to crunch their way through, as well as R8 try and move up north towards the IQ position, but they are finally falling. With 12 elims, though, they've already had a banger of a game. A nade onto the outside leaves just the 1 player now. Baton for Wolves alive up on the wall, dancing around, trying to find an opening, but it's not being presented. Thundertalk playing solid, stalwart on their defense, and there's nothing doing. Now he's at long range with the shotgun, and he's got to keep the lead pouring out, but it's not going to be enough.
That circle and getting it done so effectively. APG with some good nades as per usual, but 1 is sent back their way in Scarface, as well as Ketch, doing a huge amount of damage. Now APG down to just Doc on a sliver of HP.
Yeah, I think that is the smart money right now. I think you might be right on that one. IQ trying to leave, GS dropping down, trying to find one of their backstops, and they will be able to do so fairly simply. I mean, the rotate necessary coming through from IQ. They're rotating up, and Prestige, who did manage to get out of this one, does finally fall down, will fall to IQ, and they will stop at 13 elims. Blank, almost 50% of their points this match have come through from Alpha 7. Pretty fantastic, if you ask me. Thundertalk now pushing in as well from that western edge.
Yeah, look to push through APG. Top and Doc were able to get back into the position. It's a cracking nade. A lot of splash damage on that bad boy. Flashed his own teammate, but he had eyes on. That was the main thing, right? He had eyes on. So the flash didn't matter. They mainly flashed Doc there.
It's all shock and awe. You know, they're just rolling on in. Big bang, big boom. They know where the player is.
Throw the stun grenade.
If you're both flashed and only one of you...
Paragon. Very, very long on the nade there. But Thundertalks get up effectively, and Decisive have nothing to say about it. 7 elims so far for the Thundertalks, and overall, I would say the team play is phenomenal this game. I've been very impressed with maybe not the mechanical skill, but the decision making overall has been very, very good from Thundertalks.
Virtus Pro able to claim that northern shore on
VP also will be making a bit of a rotation over towards the north side. Round Stalba likely. APG regress over towards GS.
Refus with the pump action. Alpha Gaming taking a little bit more ground back under control in the long building, but they left a backstop in the cupboard there, and 2 players go down immediately as well. It's getting turned around, it's getting traded off. It's chaos on the inside here, Blank, but Alpha Gaming managing to stand tall amongst it. The push back in has worked. They are making it hellish indeed. There's Jafar now, the last player to stand for GS. Spots Refus, ducking down behind the box, and has to head up the stairs instead to stay safe. The blue zone is ticking away. It's slow, but it's there. The dropout from Jafar into a 1 versus 1 now, and Alpha Gaming and GS still toe-to-toe in C block.
The with Irina, like the initial rotates from Kara were good. Yeah, getting torn to pieces by Virtus Pro a little bit here has been pretty...
Push towards the circle. Kara spreading out in a line behind them might prove to be a difficult obstacle, and Obscure going down means DRX are starting to turn the tides of this fight. A second knock found as well, and really not too much damage seen in response towards DRX.
I mean, that's one way to do it, right? Is if you can't quite see your target, you just blindly spray through the smoke and typically gets the job done. I think for Kara, they're so far on the outside of the circle that, yeah, it was only a matter of time before this started to happen. DRX still trying to put the pain on over these. I think the chances that R8 leaves box and the relative safety of those outside windows right here to take shots or nades down towards Regnum Kaya, very slim. I think for Regnum Kaya actually working pretty well in tandem with R8.
Ooh, Ragnarok.
Fantastic nade. Honestly, an airburst might have done the trick there. Silas has to do it all himself once again. With the double. Fantastic. Up on high over towards Decisive. It's a good opening. And after that, instantly Doran's in as the front man from Romania. Very, very good stuff that he can bring to the table. Has always been a fantastic fragger, and now on a team that can really utilize his performance.
2 players for Wolves down. They managed to get an opening too, but that is not going to be enough there. It seems like Decisive can't hold off these pushes. Thundertalk and now Wolves have been able to take advantage of positions for elims. Now Geek are going to try and capitalize. 1 player does stay down. Doran is back up to his feet with a nade in hand. I'm surprised he's not going for that heal. There's that first knock, and Wolves look to hold off in a solid fashion where Decisive could not. Coops, I think he wanted to hop out the window there. Maybe a little bit too slow. Second time's a charm, but Higsword goes down on the sideline. 3 players fall on the approach, but 3 in response, and it's up to Doran versus Saf. And now pushing onto the outside there. Doran loses one of his teammates. They are flushed away. Opens up for the door frame, but will be blasted back off its hinges.
Safji underneath. Ooh, trying to make his way back up the stairs here. Like you say, Doran, all down to him now. Nade in hand. This has to be a golden throw. And will head further down the stairs. Has 1 more to try and make it happen. Quick switches between the weapons. But teammates are starting to bleed out. Safji realizes he's just going to go for those elimination points. Pick those up where he can. Doran jumps out the window. Goes for a similar scenario. Takes down the entire team between the 2 of them.
Saf G has to go for the reload there, but he's managed to Kai can really start to leverage this.
All right, moving out, but Wild immediately finds the first shots on that one, which is a good pickup. Looking behind him as well. I mean, very, very good M79 out of the smokes now as E-Arena looks to move across. How is he not down? Goodness me.
Oh dear, Tourniquet takes a lot of damage as well, and it is going down to that nade. Felt like I went off right in his ear, and Prestige strikes out towards the south side, and Silas is going to fall. Zedwolf now needs to pick him back up as Marth continues to move on over, spots a leg, spots two, and clocks the shot, able to take down Loxy. Regnum Kaya faltering on their hold now. They play too timid, Blank. They haven't been allowed to do what they wanted here, and Wild needs to stay alive but can't. Another nade, and there's Amori finding the shots onto Silas. Zedwolf now the last to stand, will give it a good go, but it's not going to be enough. Falls out and will go down. Regnum Kaya eliminated.
It came down to it. This has been a really good hold in terms of playing from one position to the next. Marth, oh my goodness me. I think he'll give his life for it, but you don't really care.
My goodness me, what a stylish way to close that down.
As fast as they can, pushing through the middle of the field, but where do they go from here? And a nasty tire burnout from King. Well played from Orangutan. Should be able to pick up that elimination. No, Decisive actually finding that off on the side. As they assault the position. You're right about them holding on to these spots, but Decisive, the rest of the backers coming in through thick and fast, but a good step up from Sing there.
Can't quite find the crossfire for Xavier. Now a nade in hand for Xing. There's two players in action on the inside here, AJ and Xing, both holding one door frame as Paragin. Nades as well. Xavier, they are cut down to two, and R8 are here to play. Current lobby leaders. They want another piece of the pie, and in they go. 4 players alive on side. They push on up, and 3 players now in action on the inside. They get the res for Thunder Talk, and they get the heal off as well. This is going to be crucial, and Xavier may have a shot. R8, though, storm the gates. They are not going to allow Thunder Talk out the back here with a Molotov, forcing them to stay around, and a second knock, a third. R8, a tidal wave of force rolling on into the compound.
Yeah, this is a weird time to third party. You're not really third party. You're just entering the fray here. Warzone now available for RA, but plenty of points to pick up. A total of 5 here if they're able to make it happen. Paragin should find the Murray. The rest of RA were not there to respond. Bit of inaction there, in my opinion. Playing on both warehouse doors, 2 and 2. But no one really ready to refrag him as he went for that nade. It's a good play from Paragin pushing up the way he did. Now it's in a 2v2.
And Xavier, who looked like they were on the ropes. They had one player knocked on the outside, a full force R8 to deal with, but gets caught on a take a knock, but not going to be flushed just yet. Alpha 7 want to descend on the position, though. Look at that forward pressure. Moving in for Obscure, playing close, and Marceau goes down. Lewis up on high, trapped out in the blue, and Kara have nothing to say about it. This is a brilliant little piece by Alpha 7, picking up a nice little...
to remain vigilant.
Wolves still holding their little ridge line. Higgles, really an important feature of their hold right now. The only thing that's stopping E-Arena fully overwhelming this position. And the Mad Bulls, who seem to be completely reluctant to take shots at anyone. So perhaps easier than they thought it would be. A knock sent over towards Coops, though, and there's that trade-off. E-Arena still making this fight navigable.
Batten has to push that. Like, he has no choice but to push that. Sadly, now down to just high goals off on the backside. I don't really know what Batten's game plan was there. He's just running backwards and forwards. As soon as your 2 teammates get knocked, you have to relieve pressure, right? And the only way to do that is to hope that High Goals is able to hold out players peeking from the window as you push up and take down the player underneath. Alpha 7 gets some great nades over towards Regnum Kaya. Will flush them out massively of this game. Immediate shot from Revo over towards Pusher. Kulika straight down. And more nades been sent over the top. That nade was so on target as well. Very unfortunate, doesn't take down Flip. Luckily, there's another angle from the side, from Obscure. This is a fantastic hold from Alpha 7. You love to see it.
I mean, they're playing with the barest of scraps, but they are making one hell of a broth right now. They'll have the chicken to it in a bit. it. That's what they hope anyway. GS moving on up through DRS as well, and it looks like there's no retribution just yet. The hop through, again, not working with the DBS, but it is going to be the drop down, turn the corner. It's going to work out. Jafar, though, we've seen him anchor these positions before for GS. Last man standing. He did it against APG. Can he do it again here? A long-range shot. Real hopeful with the DBS on that one, but puts him back behind the corner, and Arena are going to be a third party to it. Jafar still, though, moving up to the top rope. Looking to try and drop the elbow, but maybe overexposed now as teams across the way. They'll get his sightlines. That woolly hat looks mighty tasty as a point, but he's got more to say.
He's down. He's taken out. Jafar's gone. Shot from afar, very, very much afar as well. Alpha 7 up to 10 elims now. DRX is just going to give up the ghost, try and send away in a vehicle. QXZ swerving all tactics for elims at all. Again, it's been another slow game. Some okay nades though. I'll give him that. This one to the side does find a little bit of damage there. Good shot from Kriov in the distance towards WizGod. Again, you're exposing yourself towards the beachhead on that jump up. I think this is exactly why Arena's playing down this position. This should be a textbook Alpha 7 win though, and one that couldn't have come sooner. I think for Brazilian fans, this is a very, very good way for Alpha 7 to save face after what had been a couple of pretty upsetting games.
This is hopefully their game to take, but never say never, as Arena still have got a shot onto this one, and the nades aren't quite connecting towards the Arena. Revo under danger, under threat here. The nades are still coming out for him. He's like a mortar turret there in the grass, but it's only a matter of time before he gets spotted. Orangutan, though, in the meantime, getting put through the mincer. Having a real tough time. Their backline's cut down to 2. The heal comes out, but Alpha 7, they're faltering a bit on their 3-man push here. Not quite as effective as maybe they would have liked. They do hold a lot of ground. That is their major asset right now, Blank, but it is all up pushing, and that is not the way to do it. One knock found, a second needed, necessary to take down Orangutan right here and now, but they're not going down without a fight.
Yeah, I mean, this is bad news. They absolutely need to keep 3 players up, otherwise this happens with Arena. They immediately reposition. The reason they were taking the fights on towards that high ground, though, is specifically so they could dominate over towards Arena later on. But I think that initial knock has been a little bit worrisome. I still think Alpha 7 has a strong chance to finish this one out strong, though.
Yeah, with just Sakura now remaining, Mormon getting that knock onto Carrillo made me worry, but there was an answer now. As Guizal moves out, Sakura takes some shots, but there's an answer from the side window. The lead. I'm
always getting second places, but I think that those second places actually were the things that kept driving them forward a lot of times. So the few teams I've been like, oh, they just need a second place and they can do well.
We'll roll up from R8. They've been fairly solid on their game so far. Prestige down, though, and getting flushed leads them into a 3 versus 3, actually, with the trade-off knock coming on through. Another flush over to Regnum Kai. We'll touch on that in a minute. But R8 battling now out in the open against Orangutan, and Ida7 wins out that edge. Will find another knock as well as he steps out into the courtyard, able to find a second player from Orangutan, and they are cut down to 1. Not going to be able to win out this fight, unfortunately.
As the circle's pulling in, creates this horrible situation for both teams, and I think it is one that's made so by Orangutan as opposed to R8 playing that spot. Ulf takes down APG again when it comes to having no points, because equally tomorrow they could have 70.
Oh, Alpha 7 really struggling on the roll-up. They've just been taken down by the Mad Bulls on the approach there. Really not great stuff there. They needed to try and convert on the northwestern side, get a couple more points on board. R8 similarly now.
You need to take a shot set.
As we see the south side rotate, DRX, they managed to get rid of Virtus Pro. And they move over towards the Wolves, and a good knock on towards Coops in the backstop position as well. That's not going to be particularly flushable as Thundertalk try and cross the road, and Ulf try and cross the road, and Thundertalk deny them entry there and get a knock over towards Geekay. This fight seems to be a little bit of a stalemate between these two teams, despite the number of nades and Molotovs being sent between the two positions. DRX have taken a lot of damage though. They're going to have a real tough time rolling up. Doran for the spray down onto Soaz as he breaks on through. That crash line is good, and it's going to be held. Coops goes down 1 for 1. Hyunbin follows. QX set up on the hillside needs to come up big now because he's the last player to stand. The inside getting torn apart. Nobody's alive in the shack. The points are there for the taking, but nobody's ready to do it. A sliver of health on the high ground as well as DRX last hope now, trying to keep things going, but Soulless bombards the position time and time again, stopping the Wolves from flexing out, and then it's going to allow the Heat to control maybe an off angle as they roll up towards Paragin's shack. One of the last players, I think the last player in fact for Decisive. He's going to try and fend them off, but posting a nade through will do the trick. Just need to land it on the mark. Doesn't quite connect. That one does though. He's not the last player for Decisive. It's actually Levi. And they march ever forward, seemingly inexorably, but there's teams that will try and stop him here. NC2, no substitution play for him. Unfortunate as they meet their demise. Wolves trying to move up on the lip of the bunker, but he's backed off from the off angle as the spray down is good. Mad Bulls making their way closer and closer. The last player from Decisive, Levi's not getting stuck into that one. Doesn't want to give the game away just yet. Let Thunder Talk go for the crossing first and try and ladder up on the placements because GK have to hold.
I mean, it's a good time for Thunder Talks to do it. I mean, wrapping all the way around the building, trying to get to a side that doesn't have many windows. Unfortunately for you, this building has all the windows. Nate goes through, Kevin goes down. There's Saf out as well. Ragnarok last left inside the building. The Vikings are looking to decimate against Ragnarok itself, but Nerzed's still in the fight.
Oh, he's able to stand up though. Ragnarok still with a little dying hope here for Geeke. Able to find a knock. Thunder Talk suffering on this crossing, sitting. Needs to get rezzed here. The player on the back as well needs to try and stay alive, stay safe. And Ragnarok can't quite weather the storm. Unfortunately, the Thunder was in the crossfire. The fact that it's not unlikely that they go down before Levi's now for DXavier is crazy. And Thunder Talk aren't doing too well either. Goodness me. This is getting mad.
Jafar's on the edge of the blue right now. Does go down. Icon's able to get DS3 back up again. That's a long nade. That's a very long nade.
They're trading nades here, and now actually Mad Bulls are flowing around and over towards the Wolves, who have been doing so much damage to GS in the meantime. The Mad Bulls looking to keep this one under control. All things considered, this is their game, but Levi's moving up to the tree now. Spots a player, he gives the position away. Now the Mad Bulls are going to know he's here. They're going to know there's danger on the flank, and they are going to put some ordnance out his way. You can see the nades already cooking, and Flip gets taken down because of it. Pusher Low gets taken down as well. No way are the Mad Bulls crumbling under the face of Levi's. Thunder Talk may be able to take this one away.
Good
my
volley.
God, this is getting crazy now. I mean, it was crazy before, but what? My God, what a close down.
They're at the top, towards the top side of the bunker there. There's a little bit of chip damage, but not quite enough. Wolves are now out, so the bunker is completely clean. Singh moves around the side where the blue is pushing. Tulika has to wrap around the eastern side of the bunker, but Levi's is there, getting up towards the top two, potentially, if he could just take Tulika out. But Sighting is on the hunt.
And they will be able to find him now. The last player for the Mad Bulls is there, and Thunder Talk want that top spot for themselves. They crest the ridgeline, and they...
It's difficult to work with, especially moving through like such open area with the fields, etc. GK on our screens versus E Arena, just spraying it, honestly. NC2 will win out the engagement. Kind of got sick of the shotgun there a little bit, didn't he?
It's like, brother, that's not, you're not an alarm clock. Be quiet. He sits him down. Getting stuck in with Regnum Kaya as well, because it's a three-way fight between them, Ulf, and Orangutan. Regnum Kaya really suffering here. Looks like their day might be a bit of a downer, as they're down to two players. Ulf trying to keep up the spirits of European fans, but it's not really going well for them either, as it's just Scarface now remaining. Orangutan, they've lost two in the process of all of this as well. As their fight's not going as strongly as they would have liked either, but they still do have reservoir opportunities. The Scarface steps in, steps out, tries to go for the shot, bobbles the nade out the window. Will Loxy step on it? No, but he is going to get lit up from the off angle. That is Kara chiming in, and the nades are through as well. Scarface goes down next, and CEO gets a little bold, backed off the angle, but gets
something done here and slowly make the push on the east, but this is a really tough push up towards Longhouse.
Ooh. Feels like Milky Way may have wanted to go a bit further, but actually drops short, uses the car as cover, nades now. The opening salvo for Virtus Pro. A lot of damage done towards them, and that nade nearly takes him down. Luckily, the health ticking back up keeps him going. And Malloy for Virtus Pro is not here with them, still moving out around, moving up to the Labadita crater edge. But in the meantime, the rest of his team rides on in. Revo tries to hold the corridor, looks for the shutdowns, but it's not working. None of them can find a shot. Malloy was here.
Very surprised that OG was able to make this cross. It was a decent one underneath the purview of Virtus Pro.
But the Wolves are making this rotate, and it might pan out. Malloy now caught alone. The rest of Virtus Pro have found a little bit of isolation from him, and there's no way he's getting back up. The Wolves clip the wings of Virtus Pro, make it all the harder to move over this Labadita crater here. It is a couple of real crazy rotates coming through on this south edge, and I'm loving it.
It's such a hard place to rotate through as well. It's very hard to make happen. I mean, Wolves make a late rotate back down towards the south side to push through.
Most of them right now, probably over towards Decisive. That's where they're looking.
Nice shot from Flip. Now, it shouldn't be too difficult playing out on that eastern side. Thunder Talk with APG, R8 maybe moving up over towards GS. But mostly Kara is kind of controlled right now by GS on that western side.
Oh, he nearly found something special there. Was able to take one down in nearly a second, but not quite. NZ falls, DK are eliminated. GS in the meantime, as we hop over to the northwest side near Kara, near R8 as well, who are regrouping to third party this. If GS take a knock or two, R8 are going to be able to overwhelm this. You need to be careful. Icon stepping forward, CEO and Lewis trying to play off one another, playing on the windows. The CEO stepping in. Jafar goes down, goes low. R8, now's the time to push up, but they're not really in a position to do it. They haven't fully regrouped here. It might not matter though, because GS still have got more to deal with. Kara on the outside, giving them a run for it. Icon steps in, but can't quite find him. His CEO just fails to get back behind the corner and falls to it.
Yes, still holding on here. Kara, I'm surprised that they put up a little bit of a fight here. They were stuck in, but GS did a really good number on them. Surprised Thunder Talk lost that one. I thought at the very least it would have been two players from Thunder Talk still up, but APG still got it in them. Nice nade from ESO again over towards Marth. R8 loses another player. But equally for anyone else, like even if you take down DXA, you're still having the situations like where do you play after that? Kara not giving up too easily on the cross out. R8 able to continue to hold here. They had information earlier from Marth going down, and with GS all now locked in this one position. Nades galore from either side, from Kara, from R8. Goodness me, that is damage pouring on.
That one looks good. No, it's just short. They continue, though, the bombardment. It seems like they're bottomless on the nade pockets here, with more pouring in, but Mad Balls finally humbling them slightly, stepping them back off the angle as the nades.
Levi's. Again, more reses coming through. They see Mad Balls off in the distance. OG looking for even more on this game. Up to the top 4 now.
Mad Balls are the bigger threat for OG
crazy
right now, but he's just launching an aid over to Levi's. Doesn't connect there. Some cover still found. That is a crazy push, you're right, but somehow goes unpunished. Mad Balls more preoccupied with getting those reses. There's 3 players still alive here. The Molotov sent to the sky for Aru. Trying to slow, and he pushes. The nades continue to roll over the top. That looks like it sits under him. No, it's not going to go off in time and won't be able to connect either. Somehow DXAV are surviving these nades. Everything being put their way. They're stepping out. They're moving.
They're just keep them at bay, though. This is the big thing right now for OG, is that as long as they can keep DXavier stuck inside these tunnels, it makes their end game a lot easier. They just need to control R8 on the sidelines, but you just hope they don't put too much attention here. If they get that done, now they know they need to move in. This is a good setup of vehicles from DXavier. There's a player behind, hidden away, looking for the flush. WizGod goes down now. AKOP needs to find Paragin, who's been holding a cheeky angle for so long, and Levi's will finish them off. Dear me, what an angle from Paragin underneath the vehicle. That is a sneaky maneuver.
Oh, You just never expect it. That is so brutal for OG. Paragin makes it work. And now Decisive have time to... Nope, they're not going to get that third player up. Okay, they didn't go for that res. The play zone was pushing. It is this last stage. And Mad Bulls now with an option to maybe take a chicken dinner here on our first Miramar. Levi's the last stand, and it will be the Mad. I think better of it. Go back with the rest of your teammate. You've got Puerto Paraíso to go to. But no, he wants to get stuck in. In the meantime, Orangutan scrapping it out over in Chumacera. At the moment, they found Reefus. I think that's the only player in that location as well. Going to be difficult to get this one back up for Alpha Gaming. And a nice little pickup. Keep that ball rolling for... Oh, there you go, from Mad Bulls.
Could I give a 100%? 100%?
Yeah. I'm going to give 110%.
Give 100%.
I'm getting loads of points.
Yeah, just lock it down, lock it down. Pretty good teammates.
Got to try really hard.
Get those wins. That's what I'm talking about. Again, is the difference between OG's interview with AKOP and that interview with Tulika, which is a generalization game. You know, I much prefer to hear the real thoughts. But I suppose, you know, being able to play with your friends on a massive international scale is probably quite fun. Forced to play out the rest of the tournament, just because. I'm not feeling it right now. I really am not feeling it. And I think that tomorrow there's potential at like a 22-point game for them. But even then, it's not enough. Sitting the team down from Regdom Carrier. What a play that was. The 180 flick. Dear me.
My man with the pump action, doing so much on the inside, and now Loxy has to turn around or run away. Tail between the legs, Rectum Kaya sent dizzy by the pump action. That is crazy. That's a bit of mistiming from Rectum Kaya, it has to be said, though. Allowing that to happen, you need to step in at the same time, take those angles together.
Yeah, I mean, incredible stuff. I mean, a quick fling in the concrete, smooth sighting. Went poorly. No second date for Regnum Kaya, that's for sure. Alpha 7 now looking over towards ESR. I mean, DBS. The gun is consistently getting nerfed, but still seems to be able to one-shot people. It was so good before, but, you know, that is the problem with the DBS at the moment. It's just a little bit inconsistent. Much like DRX right now. As Virtus Pro continue to bully this team. Starting to flow over towards the top side. Voston finding one. Look to clean out this. Jafar is Malloy. Starting to flow over towards the top side. Voston finding one. Milky Way is down, but Aragon, Malloy, and Moston are still up and available. And could look to clean out this. Jafar is just spraying. He is just spraying. And Amori spots over towards Tulika, who's currently using the buggy to get some high ground performance. Wolves getting ripped to pieces. Sorry, Decisive getting ripped to pieces by Scarface alongside with Ketch. Decisive, Aragon still taking shots over the top here. Virtus Pro, again, quite a messy team, but there is a method to the madness with VP. They get done off the back of VP's push out, but pretty good. Takes down Flip, at least. But Wolves are still getting more points off the back of this one, and teams are parting ways with their players. Left, right, and center. That's a nice nade. Little bit short on the pitch.
Does get spotted. Not too sure who that's from, but I think it's the one before the move. They don't have a lot of time because the zone's going to start to close in 3 seconds. Poser's ankles have been spotted. He's dodging out the way and he's sprayed out. They aren't quite connecting with it in any sense. When they go out wide, a lot of ammo already expended on the spray down towards the player behind the buggy, and they're up close. They haven't been knocked yet. There's still time. Levi's down first, but there's the trade from Nate. 1 for 1. The Wolves move in as well. Marceau moving into the high ground on the off angle. Just Paragin on the inside, but the burn is on. It's Coops to do the damage, though, as the Wolves claim the lion's share of the point.
Sales safe in between. You can see here so much utility being expended, but most teams now lacking on those smoke canisters. Kara taking damage. CEO last left alive. A little bit of damage done, but Wolves now stay alive with all 4 players. Nasty nade on the outbreak from Thundertalk. Coops goes down, and now a 4v2.
A reality check from the top of the hill. As Thunder Talk able to find two almost immediately. Sighting now in the smoke, running around. Here's Higgles on the off angle, looks to give them a good fight, but no, Thunder Talk too much. As the Wolves fall at the final hurdle, they can't keep it going, and it will